So it's Monday morning, and today is the day that we practice in the first level of your aura, first level of your energy field called the etheric body. I love coming back down to first level on Mondays. It feels so grounding and like a beautiful way to just kind of start fresh on a Monday morning. As I do these live practices with you and for you every day of the week, we have 7 different layers or levels or dimensions of the human energy consciousness field, your aura. So Monday, we go into level 1, Tuesday, level 2, Wednesday, level 3, Thursday, level 4, Friday, level 5, Saturday, level 6, Sunday, the sacred level 7, and then Monday we come back down to this very grounded, deep, embodied, vibrational level in your field. So let's practice, shall we? And by the way, so of course this word somatic, so popular right now, popping up everywhere, somatic practice, somatic therapy, neurosomatic, all kinds of somatic. What is it? So your soma is your body, and what people are referring to means going into the body, meeting things in the body. I'm trained in somatic experiencing, which is one of the first uses of that word somatic. It is the training developed by Dr. Peter Levine. It's trauma healing work. What he discovered was that the forms of trauma healing that were around at the time he was developing and researching this way of working to resolve fight, flight, freeze charges pent up in our physical bodies, did not really include going into body sensation. And he discovered that when we have overwhelming events that have happened to us that we haven't been able to process, the strong nervous system charge of that gets locked up in our body, held as tension, held as anxiety, held as numbness, and it stays with us and it dysregulates our nervous system, which then starts to dysregulate our body, our physiology, and all kinds of symptoms come out of that. So somatic experiencing is this very expert way to help us go into the body and counter those states of nervous system overwhelm as sensations in the body, and work with very particular ways depending on the category of trauma, depending on how the charge got in there. Very elegant ways of easing it back out and helping you to discharge it. So that's the form of somatic that I'm trained in. I studied that, oh gosh, it was 7 or 8 years ago I started studying that, just because my work as an energy healer showed me that the deepest blocks that are held in our energy fields are from the most overwhelming or wounding things that have happened to us, and that I wanted to have deeper ways to help you encounter those energy blocks in your field and dissolve them, release them, and transform them. So what? So what, right? So that more of your beautiful light coherence in your energy field, more of your beautiful soul light can shine forth and be creating the health and the life that you want, instead of running into these strong blocks in your energy field. So every day the way we do this is I go to the daily post that I've put into my social media as our reference point, because we're just going to break this down into little bite-sized ways to touch into the levels of your aura. Guilty, I did not put up a post this Monday, so I'm going to go back to last week's post. You'll always know the Monday posts because they look blue like this, just like the blue of your etheric body. Sorry, getting a little reflection there. So see this level of your aura, it penetrates deep into your body, every cell of your body, but also just expands out maybe an inch or so off the body. So it's very close, and it's blue lines of light that trace out every physical organ in your body, every nerve, every cell, every muscle, every bone, every brain cell, and even your chakras on this level are traced and structured and scaffolded in blue lines of light. So that's, if you're visual, you can practice visualizing that. P.S. I did not wear my orange sweatshirt today because it's in the laundry. So you get me in purple. And you don't get me in makeup or my hair done, or I haven't even washed my face yet at 8 a.m. live on Facebook. But of course, if you're not joining me live, you can catch the replay. I'm posting them over on YouTube now as well, so you could jump over to @Shelley.Harrison on YouTube and find them there. Practice anytime you want. All right, enough preamble. Let's do this thing. So, going into etheric body, everything always starts somatically with feeling your physical body. So let's check in with sensation today and just see what the state of the nation is in here. If you're joining me at 8 a.m., whatever time zone you're in, your body may not be warmed up yet, so you may have a lot of stiffness. Just dive into your body with your consciousness. Just dive into feeling sensation throughout your body. Okay. Here is your daily self-care practice for this level of your field. I'll read it out to you. Today's self-care. Notice sensations of heat and cold. Heat indicates a good flow of energy through these blue lines of light in your etheric body. Really hot may indicate inflammation or a buildup of excess chi, excess energy. Cold indicates a lack of flow or a freeze response or numbing. So areas that are cold means the energy is not flowing along the lines as much, or it's maybe even stopped, as in a freeze response or a numbing response, not wanting to feel certain parts of your body. First level of your aura charges up your physical body, and you can perceive it through sensations, painful and pleasurable. Our needs on this level are to feel comforting and pleasurable sensations. So maybe not hot or cold, but warm is what we like. So let's practice checking out areas of the field for heat and cold. We'll drop into sensation, which is how you can connect with this level. If you're visual, you can imagine the blue lines of light, but it's going to be simpler to just check in right now and feel, are there any areas of your body that feel warm, hot? It's interesting, I'm noticing my jaw feels stiff, but it doesn't feel, there's no heat, there's no temperature there. Okay, for me, the place that's pulling my curiosity is sort of around my adrenals and kidneys. I feel chilled, and I actually almost want to wrap them up in a blanket, but I do have my purple Grover fuzzy on here, so I'm going to direct my consciousness back into that area. Yeah, I'm getting chills kind of up the back of my arms now too. Areas of cold can also be shock. Oh, hello, sunbeam on my face. So that's what I'm feeling, is there's like an old charge of shock energy back here. So wherever you're maybe feeling some coldness or numbness or no sensation, just hold your curiosity, hold your witnessing and observing of sensation in that area. Oh, that's interesting. So in that kidney, adrenal, lumbar area, it just started to soften and warm up a little bit. Probably just from holding my conscious awareness there, I'm starting to direct more energy into it. So interesting lighting here, yes, at 8 a.m. The light comes in through my patio door. And so notice my breath deepens as the energy flow increases too. What are you noticing as you hold your awareness in that area of cold you may be feeling? Even a tiny bit of pulsing now happening across that area of my back. For me, that indicates the pulsations of this level of the field are moving now, like more energy is flowing, because this level of the field pulsates ideally at 8 hertz, which is usually the pulsation of the Earth's energy field. I hear that's been changing lately. When we're wound up with stress, we're revved up, the pulsations on this level go faster and we feel more stressed out. And when we reharmonize and ground with the Earth's energy field, we go back to this healthy pulsation of life energy through the blue lines. Just checking for that sensation again. So it feels a little warmer in sort of the upper lumbar area. Now my energy is honing in directly into my lower back, lower vertebrae, and there's like a little more area of intense sensation. Or what kind of sensation is it? Let me check. Compressed. Compressed for me says too, it's like a buildup of energy that's all kind of squished in there. What's happening for you as you hold awareness of sensation around the area of coldness or numbness? You can put it in the comments if you want. So I'm getting curious and going into that sort of compressed area. And I'm kind of getting excited because it's this feeling of, oh, well, if it's compressed energy, that means like there's a storage space. I'm storing energy there. Maybe I can harvest it and meet some of it out back into my energy field. Yeah, as I do that, more awareness of sensation in the front of my pelvis, kind of ovaries, womb. I just feel like I dropped in there with more sense of spaciousness. A little pulsing there now too. What's the pulsing say, right? It says that I'm bringing more of my conscious attention into the sensations in my pelvis, and as I do that, the energy starts humming, right? It's like more flow along the blue lines of energy. I want to let that flow down my legs, so I'm actually going to stretch my legs out. I'm just sitting on the floor here, just so it's physically easier for the energy to flow down my legs. Part wants to sit in this sunbeam. The other part wants to sit out so you can see me. That helped a lot. Now I just feel like I'm dropping down into the gateway where my pelvis connects through to my thighs, and just imagining blue energy lines flowing down through there, almost like water. And I'm just feeling like really grounded, slowed down, more embodied, as we would use that word, right? More like more of me is in my body here. More of my consciousness is inside, in with those sensations. Checking for cold and heat again. Still a little cold in the low back. Check for cold and heat in your body again. What I'm going to try now with that area of sort of coldness that's all around my low back is I'm going to move my attention out to the edges and be like, where does the coldness start to shift into more warmth? Like, where does that begin to shift? This is how I work with you in one-to-one healing too. This is always where we start. We sit down across from one another. You share with me, what's you're struggling with, what you want to work on. And then right away, I ask you to dive into noticing sensation in your body. And as you do that, you're starting to move around the energy flow in your own body. So I'm really teaching you how to work with your own blocked energy and get it back into flow. Okay, so moving out to the edges of that cold area. It's not a very distinct delineation. Sometimes you get a very clear boundary between one sensation and another, or the block and the not block. It just sort of feels like it gradually moves up into my ribs and becomes a more vague sensation. So I'm just noticing that, following that sensation. And notice my breath deepening as I sink more deeply into my body. Now my awareness is flowing forward into my heart, and it feels much warmer in this area, like there's more warmth, kind of juiciness, thickness. So I'm just going to go hang out in that area and feel the thickness, the warmth. Another area of more cold kind of coming up into here. Again, feels like a little bit of shock energy. When I'm helping you to process overwhelming or traumatic experiences, often the first layer that we run into that's held in your energy field, in your body, in your nervous system is the shock. That's usually the first layer that we need to very kindly, gently, compassionately, lovingly sit with. After the shock burns off, then the deeper charges start to unpeel. And when we go into shock, right, we do tend to go into a sort of a numbness, freezing, or coldness because it's too much. Shock tells us this is too much for me to process. It's too big of an energy charge, emotional, physical energy charge for me to flow through my energy field. It stops up and it freezes because it's like I can't move that much energy through my field and not feel like I'm gonna shatter. Or that's what trauma is, right? It's something that's too big, too fast, too It's funny, I'm talking and I'm also moving into this area through here. If I shift this to a visual for me, what the blue lines of light look like coming up through here is they're more brittle. They look more brittle, not as thick, not as deep blue. And I'm going to go back down to where the lines are thicker, warmer, more energy flow, more embodiment down in my heart, because that feels more pleasurable. And I get pulsing again when I go into the area of more comfort, more warmth. A little bit of loosening up happening in my jaw as this area starts to get a little more flow moving up. I'm going to stay with this today and hang out after I stop our recording and just keep following these sensations with curiosity. And you may want to do the same. This is a very good, simple, basic way to meditate, is just following and tracking different sensations in your body. And so what you can play with today is following hot and cold, feeling places where there's heat, noticing that could be energy buildup or comfort, and feeling places that are cold or numb and getting curious about those areas and seeing if they start to shift and open up and come alive a little bit as you just hold your conscious awareness in those areas of sensation. So enjoy. Love to hear your comments about what you discover as you play with this very simple practice for the first level of your aura.